Hello, welcome and good evening. Thank you so much for joining us to a very special digital special going deeper this evening, because we are going to be chatting to Becky, who is our new digital lead. Officially, she's starting tomorrow, but she has very kindly agreed to chat to us this evening. Do say hi in the comments below. So hello to Helen and Robin, Fiona and Steve, Neil and Angie. Do say hi. There's Meg and Katie and Dave. So it's great to have you with us. And hi, Ian, and possibly Linda. If you have any questions for me or for Becky around this topic of digital church, do just pop them in the comments, and I will try and spot them. I've got to try and spot them whilst talking to Becky at the same time. And do like our video. You don't have to wait to the end. You can like it now if you like. Do share on social media if you are feeling very brave. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please click that subscribe button, because it makes a big difference to us. It also means that you keep up to date with everything that we are putting on our YouTube channel. Hi, Sue. There's my wife, Jenny. She's upstairs putting the kids to bed. But I'm going to, without further ado, welcome Becky onto the stream. So here we go. Hello, Becky.
Hello. Lovely to be with you.
Yeah, it is great to have you with us as well. We're hoping to find out a little bit more about you this evening, and also about digital church and why it's important and what you think we ought to be doing. But before we do that, just a couple of questions for you.
Go on.
Okay. And then you can tell us a bit more about yourself. What's your favorite food?
Oh, my favorite food at the moment is definitely chorizo. I'm really discovering that if you add chorizo to a meal, it really takes it to another level. So,
well, if you add any kind of sausage to a meal,
it's true. It is true.
Yeah. Okay. So that's favorite food. Favorite genre of film.
Favorite genre of film. Ooh, that is a bit of a difficult one. I like a feel-good family movie. You know. I don't know. I think that's a category that. Go on.
That's the sort of thing my wife watches with the kids while I'm getting on with housework.
Yeah. You're not a fan?
No, I just got better things to do sometimes.
They often have a very strong message. I get moved by films quite easily. So anything that's like leaves me with something profound that has moved me a little bit, I'm into that. So.
Okay, I'll let you off. And last question. Favorite holiday destination, either one you've been to or one you want to go to?
So favorite holiday I've been on has been to Croatia. So we went to an island off Croatia called Brač, which was just absolutely gorgeous. Best place I've ever been. But I really want to go to Hawaii. Is my dream destination.
Okay. Oh, well, brilliant. Okay. That was some silly stuff, but you want to say a little bit about who you are, where you currently are?
Yes.
And whatever you want to tell us is completely up to you.
Cool. So firstly, it's just lovely to be on the stream, and hello to, I can't see who's on, but hello to everyone who's on. It's lovely to meet you, and I can't wait to get to know you. So I'm Becky, or Rebecca is as my family call me, but I'm known to most people as Becky. I'm 24 years old. I was born and bred in Suffolk, but I am one of those rare Suffolk people like Martin who has left Suffolk and moved somewhere else. So I went to university in Nottingham, and I studied biblical studies and theology in Nottingham for 3 years. Then moved back home for a year and a half, and now I live in Finchhampstead in Berkshire, which is about an hour away from Hawley. So that's where I am currently. It's my little home behind me, as much of it as you can see. I was born and raised in a Christian family, so I've been really fortunate to have lots of people investing in my faith throughout my life. But my faith really kicked into gear in my teenage years through summer camp, and just being able to be part of the team there, and just see the difference that God was making in the lives of people around me, and had the privilege of knowing some really inspirational people who are really living for Jesus in ways that I look up to. So that's been very formational for me, and has sort of set the trajectory of where my life has gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was the camp that you were involved in?
So it's a little camp called Summer Madness, which is run by an organisation called Suffolk Christian Camps.
Mm-hmm.
I do still go back every year, although sadly not the last 2 years because of COVID, to be part of that team still, at a place called Sizewell Hall, which if you grow up in Suffolk, is a really amazing Christian conference centre.
Yes, yeah, I've been there a few times.
Yes.
I was really involved in a Christian camp in Southwold, which is literally, you can see Sidewell from Southwold. So I did that for about 13 years.
Great.
And that was really formational for me. So all you guys out there who are maybe in your teens or 20s, definitely get involved with service of some kind, mission, camps. It really does make a huge difference.
Definitely.
So, well, thank you. That's really, we feel we know a little bit more about you, Becky, but we're hopefully going to find out so much more. Now, we have employed you starting tomorrow as our new digital lead. And I thought it'd just be an opportunity to talk to you about why you think digital church is important. And maybe you can talk a little bit about what you will be doing, but also what we as a church will be doing. But I was kind of thinking, we went back to church today because the restrictions eased on Monday, so we were able to get back into our building. We still did a little bit of social distancing. We're still wearing a mask, but it was enough for us to meet together. We had a great time. So we've had a year and a half, 70 odd weeks of doing digital online church. And now that we're going back in the building, is there any point continuing with digital church? Because really our focus was to try and keep us together, although we were apart. And once we got everyone back in the building, is there a lot of point? Or are we just encouraging people to have their lattes in their lounge wearing their dressing gown rather than get out of their houses and go to church? What do you think?
Well, it is a valid question. I think it's the question that is bugging a lot of churches at the moment. Let me rewind a bit before I answer that question. Pre-COVID, churches began to get interested in digital and social media because we realized that culturally, we always like to check something out online before we go physically, don't we? So if we're going to go to a restaurant or go on a holiday, like before we went to Croatia as a family, we'd looked at everything online. We looked at the accommodation, all the places we could visit, etc., etc. So before COVID, in the last decade, churches have more and more realized that actually the digital space is important because people want to go somewhere digitally before they go physically. So that was kind of the way we were thinking about digital, was the little sort of window into somebody coming along in person.
Yeah.
Then COVID hits, and obviously digital becomes the only option. So we can't even move people into something physical. But I think we realized something really interesting in these last 18 months, and that's that digital presents opportunities that we never imagined were possible. And I know that you've seen some of these at Hawley Baptist Church, and people exploring faith for the first time, asking their questions about Jesus, even coming to faith just through digital interactions. And there's been all these amazing stories of people who perhaps they have a disability, or they've got children at home, or their family situation means they wouldn't come to a church physically. And suddenly they're turning up in online services or online alpha courses or all sorts of different things and exploring faith in that space. And I think this has really awakened the whole church to the fact that actually digital is not necessarily just the sort of place that we want to use to get people along on a Sunday immediately, but that actually the digital space creates a very safe environment for people to explore faith and start to move forward towards church community in a way that I definitely believe is worth continuing. And then you interrupt me at any point, Martin, because I could go on.
I was just thinking, you went to the starting point as being online stuff, being a window into our church. I don't think we were even there, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
I think but we were it was a space to advertise and give information rather than being a window. But I think very quickly we realized it was a window.
Yes.
But what you're doing is taking it even further than that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So now we're seeing that, and this is the exciting thing about the journey we're going on together, and that you guys at Hawley want to go on, is that we're seeing that the digital space presents an opportunity for mission and for ministry. So it's a space where we can take the gospel into. When Jesus said, "Go and make disciples of all nations," and go to the places where people are, and now people are online. I read a book recently that said if Facebook was a country, it would be the biggest population in the world. So that's a place where we should be going to take the gospel to. And then also online, we've seen in the past year, there've been all sorts of things that have happened online that have really showed us really the power of the digital space. So you think of something like everything that happened surrounding the death of George Floyd, or the murder of Sarah Everard. And suddenly something that nobody was in person to experience is affecting everybody because we're having this digital conversation. And I heard a phrase in a podcast last week that the digital space is like a digital nervous system. Like it's the thing now that we're thinking and experiencing based on what we see digitally. And it becomes more real to us even than the things we experience physically in our day-to-day lives. So something that we've seen on social media is forefront in our minds, even as we're going about our in-person lives and not necessarily seeing those same things occur. And so
that's a real. Sorry, I interrupt you there, Becky. Oh, by the way, your husband's turned up. He says, "Hey, here we go. Hey everyone, hope you're all having a great weekend."
That's nice.
Is he somewhere in your house?
I've booted him into the bedroom. We've only really got 2 living spaces in our houses.
I forgot what I was going to say now. I interrupted you, and then I went and put Matt's message on, and I can't remember what I was going to say. Okay, I know what I was going to say. When we started pretty quickly we saw the potential of the digital space, although most of that was based on viewing figures, which have reduced significantly. They probably peaked April, May time last year. When we started looking at employing someone, first thing was, well, we can employ some sort of designer, graphic designer, who specializes in digital stuff, and maybe do a few hours a week. And that was probably the cheapest option.
Sure.
But then the possibility of you came along. What makes you different to us employing for a certain amount of hours a freelancer who's going to make our website and social media look pretty? What's the difference for you? Is
this still my interview, Martin?
It does sound like it, doesn't it? No, you definitely got the job. There's no doubt about that.
So my passion, and Martin knows this because it was all over my application, is not just about social media as a place to promote and to market and all of that, but that social media is a discipleship space. And it is a place where people's ideas about who they are and how they see the world and what they believe are being formed. And the job description that you guys put out was really to take people on a faith journey in the digital space. We're not just we want somebody to come and boost our viewing figures, or we want to get a good marketing strategy. Those things are important, but they don't quite reach the potential that the digital space really holds out to us, which is that we can talk with people about Jesus and deepen the faith of people who already know Jesus in the digital space, and connect people, the ways that we have been connecting over the past year. We can continue to do that. And yes, we can go physically on a Sunday, but still all our lives are very busy. And we want to have spaces where we can connect midweek. So my passion really was my passion for social media is not social media itself. It's the fact that it's just this platform where we can make it possible to package up these conversations about faith and about discipleship. And that's really the intersection of what I've been doing over the past few years. So I've been working in digital communications, but constantly my heart has been what what led me to do my degree in the first place, which is to help people unpack the Bible and what it means for their lives. So that was, to me, like that intersection between those two things were definitely the things that drew me to this role. And I think the things that made us a good fit.
Yes. Now, Helen's got a question, which I'll come to in a moment.
Yes.
But it sounds like there's kind of two groups of people. There's which you can use digital for. There is the sorry, my monitor's flashed off. Let's come back. You're there. There's the idea of taking those people that would meet physically on a Sunday and keeping contact with them during the week.
Yeah.
Which we haven't really been able to do, apart from unless you're part of a home group.
Yep.
And then there's a other group of people who are maybe what they call digital natives. It might be the younger generation that you're reaching into that that place to draw them out. Now, Helen asked this question. She says, do you think the aim for someone engaging in the digital space is to move to join us in the physical, or is there space for a digital congregation? Which I'm guessing might apply more to the younger age group, but not necessarily. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a great question, Helen. And it's cool that you're interested in it. And I'd love to hear what you think as well. But I think, so first of all, I don't think it's natural for us to want to stay online all the time. So Carrie Newhoff, who's he's a pastor in Canada and also does a very famous leadership podcast and is a big thinker in terms of where the church is going, says that online relationships don't stay online. So, for example, you have online dating, but nobody's online married. Eventually you meet up, don't you? So the people that we connect with online, we love to meet up with them, don't we? We love people who connect on forums, go to conventions and meet each other. And I've been part of a Zoom Connect group over lockdown, and it's just been the best thing to then go and meet those people physically and like run into them at church. So we want to move people into physical relationships, but actually we want them to be able to access content and access community before they're ready to move into that space. As for a digital congregation, I think there's definitely space for a digital community. It'd be interesting, what would we say were the things that I'd love to hear what you think, Martin, of what makes a congregation a congregation. I think there's something about celebrating together as followers of Jesus that we're called to do in person. It doesn't necessarily have to look like a Sunday gathering. It might look like a meal. It might look like meeting up in the park. I think there's something about being together. We've all experienced it. You probably, if you came along this morning and you hadn't been to church for a while, it's great, isn't it? It's great to be together, and it encourages us and equips us. But I definitely think we need to see online community as valid, because the people who are part of it are people. And yes, they're interacting through a screen, but they're just as real, and their experiences are just as real as our in-person experiences are. I don't know if I answered the question. I don't know the answer to the question.
No, I think there's the theology, which we won't go into this evening, but you alluded to it, of actually being in person. We have an incarnate God who didn't stay distant but came into the space. This was that theology of us worshipping together. And we had our Sunday this morning was our first Sunday back, and it was so great to worship together. So you're seeing you had that digital space where people meet and maybe explore their faith before moving into a physical space.
Yes.
But what if we got people that will never be able to meet with us physically, maybe due to disability, but probably more likely due to distance they live? We have people that tune in from other parts of the country, other parts of the world.
Yes. So two things, I guess. Definitely that's why online community is great, and to see online community as not some impoverished, not to treat it as some like lesser impoverished version, I think that's important because, like I said, they're real people and they have real experiences, and the conversations we're having are real and meaningful, and they are moving people forward in their faith. Say, for example, if we've got people connecting with us who are tuning in from somewhere else in the UK, at some point, as they become known in the online space and we're having conversations in the online space, I or whoever is on the team for the online group would probably want to be starting to try to help that person connect with something physically where they are. Mm-hmm. So looking into what might be some local churches or some local groups or courses that we could get them to get involved in, because it hopefully they're at a point also where they'd like to go for coffee with somebody and talk about the things that they're experiencing online, or they might want to get baptized, for example. And I really love, I think that's a great moment where we move. I can see that being a great moment where we move out of a digital expression of church into something physical. I think baptism is really important as a symbol of
that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That actually the moment you move from digital to physical is actually baptism, which is such a turning point.
Yes. Yeah. And it's, it's like, it's the entrance into the community, isn't it? It's the moment where you come out of the anonymous space and say, I'm following Jesus. And I want to be part of this thing.
Yeah. So I love that. That's really exciting. I love that.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So viewing figures into baptisms, that would be impressive. That would make Premier News. That would.
Yeah.
Jenny, my wife, asked a good question, and this is a challenge, because we can think, oh, Becky's going to do this digital stuff. We've got digital over here, and then we've got physical over here, and hopefully they might jump over the gap. She says, does the physical church need to look different to bridge the gap between the digital and the physical? Because we all know, and I've experienced this when I was looking at churches before I came to Hawley, and I was looking at leaving my last church. I looked at one particular church, and the website was amazing. The photos were amazing. They put together a profile, which was amazing. And then I got to the church, and I'm like, really?
Yes.
This does not match their digital presence. So do we need to do something different in our physical in order to bridge the gap?
That is a really good question. I definitely think we can't sell people something that's not there. Yeah. So we can't fill our social media feeds with stock images of 60 young people with from every race and creed and ability. We want to strive towards that, but we can't. You just turn people off as soon as they do come into the room if you've kind of missold what's actually there.
Yeah.
I think this is why relationship is important, because if we are just giving people an experience online, and then yes, you can do clever things online that sometimes you can't do in the room. You can edit. You can. I saw you say this morning on your talk, you can edit out all the mistakes. So yes, you can do that, but you can't fake relationships, I don't think, when you really start connecting with people. And really, we're trying to introduce people into a relationship that then carries over into the physical space, so that it's not so much about, okay, I had this flashy experience in the digital space and then I turned up at church on a Sunday and they didn't play the same sort of music. But actually it becomes about, yes, the person I met digitally is there physically, and they were there to greet me when I came in person. But I'd be interested. What do you think, Martin?
I think the internet, the digital space, gives people an opportunity to reinvent themselves, because no one knows what lies behind the screen. And there can be a real temptation for church to do the same. And actually, the church. So there's a danger that you, Becky, for example, as a 24-year-olds, creates an online presence which isn't representative of the physical church.
Yes.
And it could, I mean, that would be great, but actually, that also would be a lie. I think there's that temptation there, isn't it? You can do all nice, great things, best website, pretty stock pictures, but actually that's no good if you're trying to move people from the digital into physical.
Yeah, great. But then if we start, say, if we manage to start engaging with 20-somethings, 30-somethings, we want to be asking the question, are we ready for them when they move out of the online space?
So that's where Jen's question becomes pertinent, where do we need to, if we're engaging with teens, 20s, 30s, then we need to make sure that the physical church is suitable for them to move into.
Yeah. But I think if we've given them a personal experience by that point, if they've connected with somebody personally, and I think, I've heard older people in churches say, I feel like I wouldn't have much to offer. Say, for example, getting involved in a youth group, or I wouldn't be any good at that because, I'm not young and hip and trendy anymore. But it's hugely valuable to be in relationship with people who are different demographics from you. And I've got a friend who started a youth ministry, and his best volunteer is a grandma, and the young people just love him. And if we can connect people in those sorts of relationships, then we're doing something to bridge that gap, aren't we? Sort of relationally.
Yeah. So my question for you: so you're in an hour away in Finchampstead. So you talked about the importance of the person they meet online, they then meet in the physical spaces as well. Now, you're going to come to our church occasionally, but you don't live in Hawley.
Yes.
Do we send them all to Finchampstead, or do which?
Yeah, it's all a cunning scheme.
I think your minister would be very happy if that was the case. But how do we solve that problem?
So that's why I'd love a team, and really what I'm here to do is serve a team to be able to do it. And no one knows Hawley better than you all who are watching this and beyond. And I'm certainly, my intention is to get to know Hawley and to get to know you and be present in the community, and be present in that digital space. And certainly I will be on hand to catch up with people in person. But this is really about building a team and making connections with people who are there and available for meeting up for a chat or for saving somebody a seat on a Sunday or something like that.
Yeah. So you are looking for people that I guess are already engaged in the digital space. And I know some of those because they're the ones that write all the comments. So you're looking for guys like that who on Instagram or Facebook or maybe even TikTok, which I've never even ventured into. That's far too young. And
I'm not young enough. I'm not young enough for TikTok, Martin.
No. But if we got guys like that within our church who are engaging with that, then maybe that could be a place that they could serve as a follower of Jesus Christ. For the church. Yeah.
Absolutely, that would be amazing. Anybody who
want their names.
I do.
Yes. No, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we are really excited about the potential. We're really excited about you. I'm just really looking forward to exploring this together. Megan has a random question.
Yes.
Which Bible? Oh, this is a test, isn't it? Which Bible verse is your favorite and why? Great
question. My favorite Bible verse is I've got several favorites. All of them do come from the New Testament.
Well, you know a couple.
No, I'm not going to be able So I love, the picture in Hebrews of let us throw off everything that entangles and run with perseverance the race marked out for us. I love that picture, and I love that that is on my heart heavily, especially for the next generation. But my favorite personal verse is about the fact that in Corinthians, when the Lord said to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in your weakness. Therefore, I will boast in my weaknesses, that Christ's power may be evident in me. That's my favorite verse.
Oh, well done. I think you've passed. Megan says hers is John 3:16. I know that one, Megan. I know that one off by heart.
That is a great verse.
Yeah.
Meg, I want to know if Megan has seen The Chosen, and if so, I want to point her in the direction of The Chosen TV.
Megan, have you seen The Chosen? I know there is quite a following in our church, and they're quite vocal with their support of it. I must admit, I've only watched the first episode. I absolutely loved it, but it does get trumped by The Rookie and Repair Shop, which is really bad. I know.
Oh no!
Well, Megan says she hasn't. So Megan, you can watch him on YouTube. So we'd recommend you watch The Chosen. In case you don't know what it is, it's about the gospel. It's a gospel story.
It's about the gospel, and it has an amazing scene at the end of season 1, which includes the verse in John 3:16 and the conversation around it. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Fred Fred has said yes. He's like the biggest fan ever in the world, and and so is Fiona.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
Two advocates.
Excellent.
And Megan says thank you. And for some reason, my wife says he is old, but
the Repair Shop, I think, is the thing.
Oh yeah, I wonder what she referred. She watches it as well. We are old could be the title. So thank you so much for sharing with us. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, and for you lot who have been watching, do like our video, do subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already, and if you are really feeling courageous, do share it on social media as well. So enjoy your evening, Becky. Thank you so much. Thank you to Matt for his one comment, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and I can't wait to get to know you all.
Cool. Bye.
Take care. Bye.